I'm going to make sure that nobody has any other questions on the thread before I start going. Okay. And okay. Hopefully it should be working, guys. I'm kind of new to this whole idea, so we shall see. Yep, it looks like it's working. Okay. So I am going to open up the wedding here. Oh. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Trying to make sure that it's working correctly here. Clearly, I can't spell anything. I'm mostly concerned with making sure that you guys can actually see the screen. Because that's my biggest concern at the moment. But it looks like you can. It's just super trippy watching it on my screen because I'm seeing a never-ending thing. Anyway, let me shut down Lightroom here. All right, so Photomechanic is what I use to cull. It's freaking out a little bit right now because I have so many other things going on in the background, and I just told it to open up a huge folder of images. So we will hopefully see if that's working. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Does that make sense? Because I ask because I tried to do this in the past and I didn't set it up right, and I was talking to myself and showing a blank screen for like an hour. So yeah. So Photomechanic is a culling tool primarily. A lot of people use Bridge or Lightroom or whatever to cull. That's totally fine. I personally think that Photomechanic is way better than Lightroom because it is so much faster. In Lightroom, when I open an image full, I have to wait, you know, up to 40 seconds or more for it to load 100%. Preview of it. And then if I zoom in, I have to wait even longer. That might not seem like a lot, but if you're talking 1,000 images, that's a ridiculous amount of time. So instead, I can use Photomechanic to quickly go through, get rid of the bad shots, get rid of the ones that are out of focus, and then I can only pull the good ones into Lightroom, which is much faster. Okay, it looks like everybody says that it's looking good. So I'm just going to go ahead with it. So this was a wedding that I shot a month or so ago, maybe a little less than that, fall weather. So you can see as I go through, I can see all the thumbnails here. I can make the thumbnails a lot bigger if I want to, or smaller. What I'm going to do is go through and cull my images, and then after that I'll do my second shooter if I'm still feeling up to it. A lot of times what I like to do is start with the reception images because I find that I can cull those much faster and it just, I don't know, makes me feel better. So I'm going to create a new folder inside my raw folder for the rejected files. I only delete files that are obvious mistakes. Everything that I just consider a bad shot but wasn't technically incorrect, I'll keep just in case after I deliver if the bride comes back and is like, oh, my second cousin third removed just died in a car crash. Do you have any more shots of him? You know, stuff like that. So, okay. I'm also going to make a folder for shots of me or my second. Sometimes we like to do that while we shoot. Okay. Obviously, this is a throwaway. That's a throwaway. I was testing the light there. Okay, so then I've opened this image full on my screen. what I need to do now is assign it a star rating. That's how I call. So I'm going to use a system. 1 is for rejected files, 2 is for passable files, 3 is good, 4 is awesome, 5 is like, I want to order 16 canvases of this. So I'm going to go through and do that. I will delete ones, like I said, that are technical, horrible pictures. That's pretty amazing. Testing my lighting here for the entrance. Oh, I can delete that one. A lot of times when I first walk into a room, I do a lot of white balance testing and stuff. So there's a lot of these shots of the back of people's heads as I was getting my lights where I wanted. So this is a good image. Out of focus. Good. The great thing about Photomechanic as well, like I said, I can zoom in and almost instantly see a 100% zoom. It's so fast and easy. Nice shot of her. Oh, is that in focus? Not really. I have some better pictures of him anyway. Not in focus. Okay. Oh, that's a much better picture. Okay, I don't have to keep this one. If you notice over here on the lower left, it'll show the star rating that I'm assigning to each picture. Also, if I were to close this preview, you can see the stars start to show up under the images that I already have. I'll also pause at times during the video to check Facebook to look for questions from you guys, because frankly, I don't know how to do it on the Google Hangouts. I'm pretty sure unless you actually joined the Hangout with me, you can't ask questions there. And it would only allow a couple of people in there, and I have to personally invite you, and it's this whole big thing. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. But I will be checking the Facebook thread if you guys want to comment while I'm doing this live event, and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have there, if that makes any kind of sense. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Bijan Betancourt. I could use Smart Previews in Lightroom. They're fairly new to me because they were recent to the version of Lightroom that I have. But frankly, I've had Photomechanic for so long, that wouldn't have really helped me 4 years ago. So I love Photomechanic. I have no idea how to use Smart Previews, so that might be a good option for some people. I just find that Lightroom in general tends to be a super bloated program. I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it still chokes every time I open it. So I try to use it as least as possible. It's awesome for what it does. I love it as an editing tool, but it's just not the greatest. That's awesome. I love it when their entrance has to be like squeezing past people. So they're trying to be all happy and do something fancy, but they're like trying to squeeze their rear ends around people. It's always exciting. So they went straight into father-daughter, mother-son dances. Ooh, that's a lot better. Oh, I like that shot. Is this in focus? It's kind of nice because it kind of bums me out a little bit when they do the first dance right away, because I rarely have enough time to set up my lights the way that I like. But sometimes I can do it during the first few dances that they do, so that by time, see, now we're a few shots into it, I'm much better with my lighting. Oh, that's not in focus. There we go. I feel like the focus is on her hand. I'm not trying to think about it too deeply at this point. My goal is just to cull it down. It's just about being super ruthless about your pictures, which kind of comes with time. The more you edit, the more you have that ability while you're culling to be like, I don't want to edit this. Not worth it. I love that shot. It's pretty good. I like that one. I feel like this one's a focus. Oh, it's so cute. This couple, I heart them. Oh, she's crying. Finally, direction I can see. I hate it when grooms dip the bride, but they're like they dip them away from you, so all you get is like a face full of their shoulder. You're like, no, so close. So this was my 50. You can right click on an image to see the, yep, that's the 50. I am a little bit addicted to 1.4, but unfortunately it's really, really hard to get good dancing shots that way. So after I get a safe shot, then I'll start playing with it. Because as you can see, it's just razor thin. But it's beautiful when you nail it. It's hard to get. Da-da-da. And then toes. Yeah, good enough. I love sweetheart tables. They're so pretty. Getting fancy with the sun flare. Do, do, do. Yes. Another reason I love sweetheart tables because you can actually see them when everybody does the clinking glass thingy. Great. Let me see. Sometimes I take a series of images and it's not until like 6 shots in that I'm like, oh, I should do it this way. So a lot of times I'll just pull back in Photomechanic and look at the last shot first. And yes, it is a much better shot. So I will mark all the rest of them as rejects. And I don't have to open them real big. Just check focus. That's good. Okay. Some guess shots going on here. I very rarely do table shots per se. Like they seriously have to really, really beg me. But I do think it's really important to get a lot of shots of the guests as they're hanging out and talking. Especially because you don't really usually know who it is that's important to the bride and groom. Or watching the Michigan State game. I needed to change my batteries. Like the Facebook thing here. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Robbie Brink asked, does Photomechanic work better than Bridge? I can't ever view the raw photos in Bridge. To be honest with you, I cannot remember. I know I used Bridge for a little while there. Actually, I think I was using Bridge and like Adobe Camera Raw or something, but it was really slow going. I don't know. Photomechanic is such an easy program to me. And I mean, the thing you got to remember with software is that everybody has something different that they like, and that's because it's just certain programs work better with certain people's brains. Like some people adore Excel. I get it, I do, but I feel like I can't see anything. Like not literally, but I can't understand it, I guess. I don't know. So for me, Photomechanic just works with the way my brain works. Other programs will work great for the people. I know some people that swear by many other programs. So thankfully, most programs have samples. I know for Photomechanic, you can do a 30-day trial. And I believe it's the full program. Like they don't put any restrictions on anything. So you can give it a try and see if it works for you. And thankfully, the internet, so there's about 10,000 YouTube tutorials for any given subject or program or anything. So that's good. Another question here: how can you get ruthless with your editing? I've had clients with family passed away and they asked for everything I had. It just comes down to, for me, you're going to be judged by your worst shot. So if I took a shot and it's horrifying, I'm not going to deliver it. That being the case, you know, if there's extenuating circumstances, like I said, if they come back to me later and say, hey, you know, is there any other pictures of this person you can find? I'll help them out. I'll try and salvage a terrible photo because it's an emergency, but that's a very specific situation, to be honest with you. So, for example, if I have all these test shots for my lighting for the dance floor, I'm not going to deliver those because no bride wants a picture of this. You see what I'm saying? So these are easy enough to determine. Also, even when it comes to portraits and stuff, like, you'll learn people would much rather see one great image of them than 3 horrifying image of them. If it's not flattering, I'm not going to deliver it. This is a shot where his eyes are half closed. I'm not going to deliver that. People will tell you that they want everything, and I'm sorry, they're just wrong. There are certain cases where psychologically, just people think that they want something and they don't. Honestly, that's just not how it works. If you deliver a bunch of images that are not your best and not flattering for the client, they're not going to be happy about that. So if I'm going to err, I'm going to err on the side of caution and deliver too few photos than too many bad photos. Also, it's a lot about preparing your clients. I let my clients know right from the beginning, I call ruthlessly. I'm not going to deliver images that are not flattering. And they love that. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a consultation with people and I tell them, we go over that information, and I tell them, you know, I only deliver the best images. I'm not going to throw away something for no reason, but I'm not going to deliver something not flattering. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad. My cousin got like 1,000 images at their wedding. That's just stupid. Which is funny because I used to deliver like 2,000 images when I was new. It's just one of those things that you get more experience in as you go, I think. I feel like I'm babbling. That's probably pretty accurate. Oh, twerking. You crack me up. Focus. It is not. I really gotta stop shooting everything at like 1:4. I love dance floor shooting, and I think that's part of the problem because I just like, I'll be out here for 3 hours anyway. I might as well try some low aperture. And it comes back to bite me in culling. It's okay because I always have enough images anyway. Dance floor. This lady was so stinking adorable. I love her dress. Tell me where she got it, and now I can't remember, which kind of bums me out. I did that backwards. There we go. Let's see if we have any other questions. I'll be honest with you too. Like I learned eventually that a big reason why I was having such a hard time culling my images was that I wasn't frankly that good. Um, my whole editing process was pretty much like the expression goes, I was polishing turds. So it was really hard to narrow it down because they were all just not that great, and I was trying to make up for that by quantity. Um, Now I'm to the point where I don't feel like I have that problem. I mean, not that I never take a stinker, because let's face it, it just happens. But I feel like now I know that I do a great job. I know the difference between a great image and a not so great image, and so it's not difficult for me to go through and call. But it takes many years to get to that point, where you can look at something and say, "Woo, that was terrible. I'm not going to give them that shot." Maybe that's just me, but this happens to me more often than I should probably be comfortable with. Horse heads and pirates, totally normal. Totally normal part of my job. Oh, goodness. That's a better one. Ooh. Holy light failure, Batman. Ugh! I hate it when I get perfect lighting and timing and everything, and there's just a terrible expression on their face. I don't know if it's like just a wedding photographer thing or if it's just me or what, but it seems like every time I try to take a candid picture of somebody at a table, they decide to touch their face just then. Like subconsciously they're like, someone's trying to take a picture of me, time to pick my nose. I don't know if that's just me or what. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like blackmail images as much as the next photographer, but still. Oh, there we go. I like shooting into the DJ table with that sweet, sweet rim light. Let's focus. I wish I removed that light stand. That is a serious dancing face. These guys crack me up. Sorry, distracted for a moment there. I feel like I like that one better. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm a wedding photographer, right here. How can I miss those moments? Look at that backlight on that beautiful behind. Love it. This is just magical. Love it. Man, I didn't even notice, but check it out. I picked the one broken one. Dang nabbit, Heather. I vaguely recall I was trying some kind of motion blur thing here, and I don't know why, because I always end up hating those kind of images, but I try them all the time for no reason. I know a lot of photographers like that look, and that's, you know, totally cool if that's your style, but it just bugs the crap out of me. Why do I even bother doing it? I don't know. I'm crazy. Yay, ring shots. These ones I'm looking at less as composition and more just for focus at this point. I'll do that first, and then I'll go back and see which one I actually like better. Oh, that one's way better focus. Oh, what just happened there? Oh, I accidentally shot a video. That's right. Okay, so that's the end of the reception. I am going to sort by my rating. And then all these 1-star images are going to get tossed into the rejected files. Which, you know, you don't have to do. You can pull it into Lightroom, and Lightroom will still see the star ratings, so you can sort it that way. But I like doing it this way because it's kind of those images go bye-bye. Especially during the reception where a lot of it is missed focus and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just feels good to have them in a different folder. maybe that's just me. Okay, so with that portion done, next I am going to hop over to, maybe I'll do family formals. Family formals. I try to save the portraits for last because we all know that's the funnest part. And the ceremony is pretty fun too, but I try to save it so that I don't go crazy. I have something fun to look forward to. Maybe I'll do the receiving line. Okay, so I'll start with the receiving line, which I always shoot. It always kind of surprises me when people don't shoot the receiving line because for me, it's a really good way, a safe way to get a lot of guest shots, and you know they're going to be smiling and looking happy because that's what they're supposed to do. Kind of just covers my bases so that, you know, I want to guard against that whole, like, I didn't see this person in any of the pictures. Which, again, I outright tell my clients, you know, it's probable that I won't get a picture of every single guest, but it's something that's important to me, and I really do try to do it if I possibly can. The receiving line is a really great way to do that. So I just position myself kind of behind the bride and groom to the side a little bit. Fortunately, this particular venue, there was a staircase that I could stand on. Oh, okay. I thought it was frozen for a second there. Nope, it was just me being stupid. Because I'm an exceptionally short person. And it's really hard to shoot the receiving line if you're not above the couple's shoulders. The nice thing about, too, having done the reception shots already or culled them is that while I'm going through these, now I can say to myself, I've got better images of them in the reception, you know. So you don't have to deliver 8,000 shots of every guest. You can just kind of overall get a couple of shots that are really nice. I try to, I have to be careful because a lot of times there's a couple of guests that are particularly smiley or, you know, particularly involved with things, and I'll end up with way too many pictures of that one guest. And I don't want to upset anybody or make anybody feel left out, so trying to keep it pretty, what's the word? Standard? I don't know. Equal? Oh, that guy looks like David Tennant. What? How did I not notice that? That's something that super weirds me out when there's a guest that looks like somebody you know or a celebrity. I had a bridesmaid once that I swear looked exactly like, what's her face? Amanda Bynes. And like the whole first half of the wedding, I'm like, this is driving me crazy. What does she look like? And then I realized, and it was like all I could think about. I don't know about you, but I used to love the Amanda Bynes show. Amanda, please. I know this is just a, you know, one of those half blink bad moments, but it totally looks like he's being like, oh gosh. So funny. Oh, I love her hair. I don't think it's in focus though. Nope. Okay. I like that one better. I like to. I very rarely have to rush through the receiving line if they do one because I'm pretty strong with telling my clients how long things are going to take, and I always recommend at least an hour for the receiving line. You know, for like an average like 300-person wedding. Because if they allow less than that, it can cut into family formals, and then we're behind for everything. And most clients, if you tell them how long something's going to take, they'll trust you on it. You know, like you're the expert. So I much prefer to create buffer time for myself rather than have to be rushed, because I don't want them to feel stressed, you know? Okay. Let me check the thread, see if there's any questions. Deep, 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 deep. Jessica Cowles asks, how many images do you deliver now? For 2014, I average around 500 for like an 8-hour to 10-hour wedding. It kind of just depends on the wedding. I had a recent one that was like 900 images. I had one that was like 400. But yeah, usually between 5 and 800. I tell my clients to plan on about 50 images an hour. Does that make sense? Is that what I tell them? How many is that? 50 images an hour, 10 hours, that's 500, right? I don't know. I can't math. You guys figure it out. Elizabeth Millen asked, crazy question about the lighting at the reception. Are those your lights or the DJ? Yes. Let me pull back to the reception here. I use the DJ lights as rim light, but everything else that you're seeing is me. So for example, this purple glowy part and this blue part over here, that's all DJ lights. But this cream color on the skin is from the flash that I have set up. So for example, if I pull the rejected file, we will look at a flash fail shot. Okay, so here's an example of what it would have looked like if my flash had not fired. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much of the ambient is getting in. And then from there, if you, I'm just totally not in focus. It happens to be in the folder. So you can see the lights that I'm getting. You have the DJ table lights, but because the majority of the exposure is coming from my flash, it's way more flattering, way more consistent, way sharper. I much prefer to do it that way. So the way I tell people is basically I go into a room, I meter in my camera for the ambient so that I can get those ambient lights. And then I just turn on the flash and, you know, turn it up until my subject actually looks good. Because if you're metering for the twinkle lights, your subjects, of course, are going to be black. Because twinkle lights, you know, are lights. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not making sense. I hope that I am. But yeah, and I try to always bounce my lights. You can see in this wonderful shot. The ceiling is all blown out. That's because I had my flash set up to bounce off the ceiling, which doesn't look good for the ceiling, but it looks great for the people on the dance floor. You get that nice rounded out look. You still have nice shadows that are preserved, so it looks realistic and not flat, but it tends to be much more flattering. It all depends on the reception venue. This one happened to be super easy for light because it's a huge white box. Let me pull up a different one here. You can kind of see there's this, excuse me, sorry, I've been drinking pop. There's this balcony up here. Above that is kind of a, I can make the shape with my hands, but you can't see me. What is it called? A triangle roof, but like really more flat than a triangle. I don't know. But you can see where my light is right here. I believe I had another one over here. It just like camera left, but it just didn't fire for this particular shot. I've also in this venue put my lights up on the balcony as well. I just try to avoid that sometimes because I want some fill in the seating sections that are under the balcony, and that's hard to achieve unless you have it in the main floor. So I hope that helps. I know there's a bunch of threads about it in the group. If you do a search for reception lighting, I've talked about that a lot and given a lot of examples too. Robbie Brink asks, so you call anything that has a blurred hand or anything that you can see the light across the room? Not necessarily. My biggest thing is just that the face is in focus. If the face is, you know, the point of the shot, it just depends on what the point of the shot is. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's that one picture? Like this, obviously I wanted the hands in focus, so if they weren't, that would have been a failed shot. The faces I don't care about at all. By comparison with this one, I don't really care about his hand, it's his face that I wanted in focus. So it just depends on what my intention was. As far as lights being in the picture, I really don't care if my light stands are in the picture all that much. I think there'll probably be some examples of it. Just not seeing any. I just don't want my light stand to be the focus of the shot. Like if it's super obnoxiously in the way, then I might call that image. It just kind of depends. Is it like a totally amazing once in a lifetime image of the bride and the groom and it's perfect and the expression is perfect and the dress is perfect? Well, no, I'm not going to throw it away just because there's a light stand in the background. But, you know, if it's a shot that I've got 5 other shots pretty much like it, then yeah, I'm going to throw away the one with the light stand in it. I hope that makes sense. Also, I have a thing for like, if the flash went off, it's probably going to give enough rim light where the stand isn't all that visible anyway. But if the flash didn't go off and it's just a dead light stand, that kind of looks worse to me. So a lot of times those ones will get culled a little faster. I try really hard not to get my step stool in images, but as you can see in some of these, I totally did. So it just depends on the image. Kelly asks, how long have you been a photographer? I'm new to photography and would like to eventually start a business. When was it that you thought, okay, I'm good, now I can start charging? I've been a photographer for about 10 years. I started when I was just out of high school and I was an idiot and didn't know anything. So I started charging right away just because I knew that I didn't want to lose money. I had been following some wedding photography forums for a long time. I actually have a couple of descriptions of how I got started in some threads. So I would suggest that you look it up in the group, use the search tool to look for like how you started or backstory or some words like that to try to look for that information. But in a really brief nutshell, my personal feeling is nobody knows. It all just kind of depends on your situation. For weddings, you should not be attempting to do weddings unless you already are good at photography. Weddings is not a place to learn. I know that because I screwed up a couple weddings in the beginning. Thankfully, my clients didn't care because to them it was like, we'll give you $50 or we just won't have a photographer. We don't really care, you know. But I did a horrible job. And while I'm glad that those clients weren't upset about it, I really wish that I would have spent more time learning to use my camera and learning to run a business. But I don't know. I guess everybody says that because hindsight is 20/20. But do as much research as you can. The main thing when it comes to pricing is to not base it on what people tell you. As far as, oh, you're too expensive. I can't afford you. I just can't. That's bull. Because photography is not a necessity. It is not water or air. It is a luxury. People get it because they want it. And if they value what you do, they will pay you for it. So either you need to be better so that your value is higher, or they can just go elsewhere. Pricing needs to be based on what you need to be making. And there's a lot of threads on that. Please, please, please do some searches in the group for pricing information. Back to it. Okay, where was I? Family formals. Nickelodeon, baby. All right, so looking where I left off, when I get to family formals, oh, that was not in focus. Again, what I do is I try to look at a bunch of them first before I open them up, because a lot of times there might have been ones where people are obviously blinking and stuff. If I can pick out a good one right from the very beginning, I can just set the others as rejects right away. Groom is not looking. There we go. Okay, so this one is good. This one's better because they're all sling. Out of that set, this one's great as long as it's in focus. Yes, mark it as good. So then I'm going to back up to the other ones and set them as no. Again, this is another reason why I keep my rejected files, because if during editing I go back and I'm like, oh crap, she had a better smile in that other shot, I can face swap. I'll still have the files. I'm just not going to pull them into Lightroom to edit them because reasons. Right here I can see right away mom's eyes are closed, so I'm going to bother to open that one. I think her eyes are closed kind of here too. Okay, flipping back and forth. I like this one better. Eyes are closed. Oh, they're not really closed, just kind of squinty. Okay. How many choices do I have with this set? I've got quite a few. Again, starting at the back of the family formals and moving forward sometimes works a lot better because they loosened up a little bit, or the longer you go on, out of focus. Which is okay, I just, you know, it makes me twitchy. Oh, oh, keep that one. That's a no and a no. I think that one might be the best, actually. Keep that one. She does have a nice smile there. See, this is where I get myself in trouble because I'm like second guessing myself. Okay. So first one, and that's a no. I have quite a few of these. It looks like okay, so I have these 3 images. So this one and this one. So first I'm checking bride and groom. They all look good. This last one's slightly out of focus. So now it's between these 2. If I go back and forth real fast, I can see if anybody is blinking because my brain is drawn to where there is movement. Aha! Blinker! Jacques Hughes! Okay. There's a blink there. I try to just go through and pick one where everybody is looking nice and not blinking. If there isn't one, then I have to start face swapping. So starting again with bride and groom, looking around. That one, she is blinking. And that one. Okay, so if nobody's blinking here, then this is the winner. Yep, okay. Okay, and then this one, from here to here, I've got quite a few. I'm cutting off their legs there, though. Blink, blink. I can't decide if this guy is blinking or if that's just... Oh, yep, he is, okay. So... everybody looks good in that one. They look a little bit better in this one, though. Bride and groom, and then mom and dad. Those are the priorities as far as who looks good in a picture. Other family members can be making goofy faces. That's okay, but if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I found with family formals, too, it's really important to give some attention to the posing. Oh, that sign. If for no other reason than the simple fact that they will feel better about how they look in the picture if they remember how confident you were and how well you posed them at the time. So in other words, like I might go up to a mom and be like, oh, move your shoulder just a little bit this way and put your hand here and then all your weight on your back foot. You look so great. You just lost 10 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Even if I didn't make them look that much different, they will feel psychologically so much better about that picture. And they will end up seeing themselves as having been better in it. Maybe that's psychological trickery, but I don't care. I just want them to like their pictures. So here's a good example of how I light for details. So again, I metered for the outside light, the really bright light. Then I turned on the flash. So this is a bounced light. It's very soft, magazine quality, so much better than this. A lovely shot of some dead bushes. Delete. These were some grounds pictures. I was testing out what I liked for lighting and stuff. Okay, so that's family formals. Let's do getting ready. Actually, let's start with, okay. I don't know. I can't decide. Just checking to see if there's any other questions. Ow, switched myself. Okay. The lighting in here was horrifying. There was fluorescent and tungsten and daylight, and it was a teeny tiny little bitty itsy room, and there was tons of people in it. And the only way that you can see the bride is to take shots in the mirror. Is always interesting. Another reason to use live view, kids. And the Mark III, if you put it in live view, you can zoom in to 100% and then manually focus. So I can basically zoom in to make sure it's in focus as I'm focusing. Super nice. A while to figure out how I wanted to light this room because it was just, it's not ideal. I've shot here a couple of times and the venue is otherwise really awesome, but this getting ready room is just awful. Okay, so for the dress, I did move in. I liked it better over there. I really hope I tucked that strap in. Are you in focus? You aren't. My totally awesome creative shot accidentally of the ceiling. That's pretty awesome. Hey, I'm in the mirror. There I am. Hello, me. Not a big fan of that. I thought I'd get the dress through the doorway, but there was just way too many bags. So it was just, ugh. So the bride's hair and makeup was taking a real long time, so I went upstairs to shoot more details. This is one of those venues where the ceremony and the reception and getting ready and everything are all in one place, which is super nice. Why did I not focus on the top of the key? Urgh. Here we go. That's a little better. I don't try to get like every single table or anything, but I like to get a good mix, especially if they have slightly different setups at each table. Whoa, holy blown out Batman. There we go. Back to check on the bride. Try to have all the bridesmaids get dressed before we do the dress. But not always does it work. Oh, there's some done there. I want to put the focus on the shoe. I think fast enough. Oh, that's a little better. Meanwhile, all right, so now we're into first look. That's his modeling face. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do as far as the first look, so I was kind of moving the groom around a little bit. Like, stand over here. No, stand over there. Couldn't decide. As you can see, it was super duper, super duper, duper sunny, and I didn't want it to be blown out and lose all that awesome color. I did find some deeper shade. Oh, not in focus. That's okay, kids. That's why you have second shooters. Yay, so pretty. Keep shooting a ton after that first look because sometimes the look on his face a few moments after the first look is better than the actual first look. Like that is better than this. So I will timestamp it so that it comes earlier in the set because that'll be the face that she remembers and that she wants to remember. I don't mind fudging it a little bit. I do the same thing for when brides walk down the aisle. I shoot like a lot of the groom, like even when bridesmaids or little ring bearers or whatever are coming down the aisle, because sometimes he'll smile at the ring bearer, but he won't smile for the bride because he's too nervous. So I'll just take a bunch of shots and then I'll put the best smile right before she comes in. No one will ever know unless you look me up on YouTube. Crap. I don't like the shadows here. That's so much better. Oh, there's a leaf. That's cool. I don't like that one. There we go. I'm sneaking into portraits. You see this? I told you I wasn't going to do this, and I lied. I lied big time. I'm such a liar. I like that one better. What was I even focused on? What the heck? Yep, see, I back focused a little bit. What's that? 70. Okay. So cute. I like the light there. Some dude was blowing leaves like which is actually really funny because it looks super romantic. I'm pretty sure that spot right there is my second shooter. I was totally shooting over her shoulder. I don't really feel like cropping that one. There's better ones. Oh, it's so cute. It's totally not in focus. What's the deal, yo? It's having problems with my focus that day, apparently. Oh, that's better. Oh, I like that shot. So pretty. There's so many people today on that day too, because popular in the fall, apparently. I'm having a really hard time cropping them out of my compositions, so sometimes I just had to get them in there and just remove it later, which is not generally what you want to do as a course of action, but sometimes it is what it is. What you gonna do? Oh man. I like her smile there better, but his face looks a little better in this one. Urgh. Too sunny. Oh, I like that shot so much. So cute. Oh, I like that dress. They are just so happy. I love it. I love happy people. Oh, so these pictures are shot with my parabolic umbrella. So there should have been like really harsh direct sunlight on them right here, and there wasn't because we shaded them with an umbrella. Which is cool because unlike regular shade, which just makes it darker, a parabolic actually uses the sun. So it'd be pretty much like using a huge, huge strobe. Really nice soft light. And you can fold it up and take it with you. I'll see if I have any background shots in here in a second. I was checking to see if there's any other questions. Jessica Collins asked, "Was this at Waldemar?" No, I've actually never shot a wedding. I forgot you're in Michigan. Hi. This was at Fitzgerald Park in Grand Ledge. The wedding, I'm not sure if you mean the ceremony or the pictures here, but the ceremony was at the Grand Ledge Opera House. Love it. Yeah. Best background image ever. This is a 5-star image right there. It was amazing. You can see how good the light is. I mean, it's just really soft, beautiful light. You can see over here what the sun, how strong the sunlight would have been, like on her boot and stuff. I just love my parabolic. Love it. I heart it. Oh, 2 missed kisses. So close. Some cool leaves. Quite in focus. I felt like it was back focusing like all day. I mean, it's close enough. It's not a big deal, but it bothers me. It vexes though. I love it. Ah, so cute. Oh my goodness. I should have had her lean forward more. Should I have her drop the chin a little bit? Yay, bridesmaids! Da, 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 da. Robbie Brink asks, which size parabolic umbrella did you use? I use a white Paul C. Buff 7-foot parabolic. If you use the word parabolic in the group search, you will find a thread all about it. Brandon asked, would this be available to watch later? Yes, and I publicly mock you for not reading the FAQ. Haha, just kidding. Love you guys. Kelly asked, beautiful shot. Oh, not a question, just a compliment. Yay, thank you. How nice. Okay, so I took a buttload of shots of the girls because the boys were running late, which is ironic because way less time to get ready. Okay. I always try to take a shot if I have time of the bride with each of the bridesmaids and the groom with all the groomsmen. Everybody likes those shots. I don't know what's going on there. That's this. There we go. Love it. Feel like that one's, yep, better focus. Last, the brethren. Oh, don't be blinking in every shot, bro. Hey, that's me. I must have put my second shooter shots in here also. Oh no, she had my camera for a little bit. That's right. Durr. Oh man, I need a haircut so bad. How embarrassing. Are we done yet? This is usually the point where I get distracted and go surf the internet for a while. Do. Lots more pictures to look at later. And I still have my second shooter's pictures. When I start feeling this way, it's time to do the rating trick to get rid of a bunch of the images I've already one-starred, because that will make me feel better. It'll make me feel like there's less work to do, even though that is not remotely true. See, this is good. It's good that you guys are watching, because I totally would have stopped editing and gone to do other things. In all seriousness, though, I will have to wrap this up in a few minutes here, so why don't I I will do some Lightroom editing now. Yes, I want to quit. Whoa, trippy. Adobe Lightroom, baby. Since I haven't finished culling this one, I am going to open a different wedding that I've already culled, excuse me, to work on in Lightroom, because I don't want to pull a wedding into Lightroom that I haven't fully culled. Otherwise, Lightroom is pulling in and processing images that I'm not even going to want to edit, which takes way too long. And the more images you have in a catalog, the slower it goes, which is not good. So let's go to Katie and John's wedding. Aw, Dana, you so nice. I like you too. Jessica Fitzgerald Park. Yes, Fitzgerald Park is definitely gorgeous. I love it a lot, especially for fall pictures. Did I already finish this wedding? Sometimes I get really excited and edit stuff like right away and then forget that I edited it. Is that terrible? I mean, I usually have to go back and do it again because I was way too excited to miss stuff, but when you do couples portraits, what do you say to them to get such genuine interaction between them? Whenever I do them, they always try to pose too much. If your clients are trying to pose themselves, then you are not doing enough posing. I know photographers, I used to think, I should just talk about myself, I guess. I used to think, well, I don't want to pose people because I don't want it to look stiff. I want it to look natural. Okay, that's nice, but unfortunately, that's not how the real world works. If you do not give them direction, super detailed direction, then what's going on in their head is, okay, how do I look? Do I look weird? Am I supposed to be looking at the camera? Where should I put my hands? Oh my God, my hands. My hands are so weird. Why do I have the weirdest hands? Oh my God. You do not want them to be thinking that. So the more direction and help that you give them, the more they can relax. So I'll go up to a couple. Let me pull up some couples images. Oh, good. I didn't edit these. Okay. So I'll go up to a couple and just tell them, okay, I want you. Let me pull up a basic one here. I want you guys to cuddle up, get real close. Good job. Okay, now put your foot right here. Yep, just a little bit closer. Awesome. And then I'm going to have you put all of your weight on this back foot. There you go. Relax. Very good. And I'm going to have you put your hand on her hip right here. What? Now, don't you go too low. I'm watching you. Men love to be scolded, so just do lots of scolding. You'll be fine. And then I'll go back to her. Okay, now put your hand over his elbow right here. Perfect, right there. Now I'll touch her shoulder real light. Okay, now drop the shoulder. Very good. Relax. Good job. Okay, I'm going to step back. You guys just look at each other, kind of breathe, just enjoy it. Perfect. And then you get this shot. Come a little bit closer, guys. Perfect. I'm going to have you put your nose right at the top of her nose. Good job. Just stay there, breathe. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to have you turn out toward me, bride. Perfect. Go ahead and put your arm through his arm. Yep, excellent. Now take your other hand and grab his hand there. Good. And you're looking at each other. You're relaxed. We're happy. Good job. Okay, let's walk over here. I'm going to have you guys just stand here next to each other. Perfect. Amazing. I'm going to have you put your hand in your pocket for me, hon. We don't want loose hands. Perfect. And Bride, will you please bring your shoulder back just a little bit? Yeah, girl. Show me those girls. There you go. Yeah, you're working it. There you go. Okay, turn back toward each other. Perfect. I'm going to have you hold hands. Okay, kiss her. I know you want to. Let's just get out of the way. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to have you go ahead and hug her from behind. So you're going to go behind her just a little bit. Perfect. Come out, though, a little bit so I can see you. Very nice. Bride, is it comfortable for you to lean back on him? Is that okay? Yep. Okay, awesome. Love that. Okay, guys, just hang out right there. Bring your heads together just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to have you face each other. Good job. Brian, I'm going to have you put both of your hands in the middle there. Just squish your boobs with your elbows. There you go. Perfect. Put your hands up on his collar. Very nice. Groom, I'm going to have you put your arms around her right around the back. Perfect. Right where that bra usually is. Yeah, I know you know what's up. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, Bride, I'm going to have you sit on his lap here on the bench. So, Groom, I'm going to have you sit down first, get a little bit comfy. Perfect. Bride, I'm going to have you sit on just on one of the knees. There you go. Perfect. You can put that arm behind him to kind of steady yourself. Good job. You can go ahead with the other hand. Take his hand. Yes, perfect. Just make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Keep it real loose. Beautiful. Okay, guys, I'm going to get a real wide shot here with the trees so you guys can just kind of hang out. Perfect. I love that. Go ahead and put your arm around her. Yes, love it, guys. Hang out there for just a sec. Okay, Bride, I'm going to have you stand right in front of him. Beautiful. Groom, go ahead and put your right hand around her. Yep, very nice. And Bride, grab his other hand and put it up near your shoulder, wherever feels comfy. Yes, that's beautiful, you guys. I love that. Go ahead and lean your faces together. Yep, you can turn toward him just a little bit more so you're comfy. Perfect, right like that. And Grim, just lay your nose right over her forehead. Very good. Wow, you guys look so great. Yep, look at me. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I love it. And both look at me. Very good. Love that, you guys. Excellent. So that's just kind of my thought process for posing. Is a lot of how they react to images is going to be your excitement, your enthusiasm. Move quickly through it. Do not let them sit there wondering what you're doing or if they look dumb or whatever. Constant praise, constant talking. It's okay to have quiet moments, but as long as they know that you are deciding what's going on and you're not just sitting there waiting for them to do something. The more that you take control, the more relaxed your couples will be. And yes, some of the pictures will be a little bit stiff. You can throw those out later. But once you get them into the pose, they feel like you're in control. They feel like you are looking out for them. They will start to relax. And those next few pictures will be super great. I hope that was helpful. So I edited much of this wedding a while back. But I need to go back through and just make sure I didn't do anything crazy. Sometimes when I have long editing days, I get a little bit crazy with the contrast and it ends up looking thermonuclear. So, like this one's way too bright. Lightroom has brushes so that you can paint on different exposures, which is the greatest thing ever. I feel like this needs to be black or white. Excuse me. This little girl she did not want to be a flower girl. She wanted to be a candy girl. So she wanted to throw candy out for the guests, which I think is awesome. I don't need that one. Whoops. This really bothers me. I'm gonna have to get rid of it. I know it was like, it's supposed to be there and everything, but bothers me, you guys. It just does, okay? Much better. Possibly a little bit up here. Okay. The sunlight was coming through just right here, so her arm is like super orange. There we go. It's much better. Not a huge worry word as far as skin tones being exactly perfect or whatever, but it really bothers me when like one limb is a totally different color than another limb. Like, as long as it's consistently one skin tone, I'm good. Otherwise, I get pretty twitchy. It's a little better. Bring this down a little bit. I feel like that pergola is crooked. Another thing I like to do is I'll select a couple of images and just look at them side by side, just make sure I'm not getting too much difference in color or light. So for example, pulling these two side by side shows that I'm getting way too yellow in this shot. Um, it's kind of important to check yourself every once in a while because it's really easy to get too into it, and then before you know it, the end of the pictures looks way different than the beginning of the pictures, if that makes sense. Sun was going down, so it is going to get more golden as the day goes on, but don't want to make it too much so. Just checking for questions real quick. I am glad it amused you, Jessica. You are totally welcome, everyone. Robbie is talking about culling. I need to be more strict with my culling process. Yes, yes, definitely. What kind of helped me was when I was doing portraits, I had moms order pictures, and of course, anytime they would order pictures, they would only order 1 or 2 4x6s, and it would be the one shot that I hated, like that I was really hoping they wouldn't notice that I took, and I was always super annoyed. Like, why that picture? Why didn't you pick this good picture that I love? And then finally, I realized if I hate this picture so much, why did I even give it to them? I don't want to give my couples or my portraits or whatever, I don't want to give them anything that I would be annoyed to see on their Facebook page, you know, or on in print at their house. Like if I'm going to look at it and say, why'd you pick that one? Then really the question is, why did I even give them that one? And that kind of helps me when I go through. Sometimes there's images you have to deliver, even if they're not images that you think are awesome. Sometimes you catch a last second, like laughing, smiling hug, and it's the only time grandma cracked a smile through the whole wedding. And it's, you know, the composition's terrible, but I mean, that's a moment that's important. I'm not going to throw it away. But you know what I'm saying. Just do it. Let's see. I feel like these are like way too yellow now. Well, maybe not. I guess not. Whoops. Woo. Just checking for questions and stuff. Valerie, thank you very much. I'm glad it was helpful. Brandon said, I'd love to see you start to finish editing process. That's what I'm doing right now. So, for example, this image, I can take it back to import. This is a straight out of camera image, no edit done. So over in Lightroom, the first thing I address is exposure. The exposure looks good to me, so I'm not going to do that. I'll bump up the clarity and contrast just a tiny bit. I'll bring up the shadows a little bit. I like to see more detail in the suit. I'll bring down the blacks because after getting those shadows back, I want the true blacks to be a little darker. I'm going to make it a little bit warmer in the white balance. And because I lost some data here in the dress, I'm going to bring the whites down just a little bit. Tone curve is really good for adding, how would I say it? More contrast. That's not really, shoot, I can't think of a good way to explain it, but it makes the image pop a little bit more. I just kind of add a little bit of a spinal curve, whatever you want to call it. I'll often go to luminance and lift the reds and oranges because that's the colors of most of my couple's faces. Those colors I want to be brighter because I want the eyes to go to the faces first. Now that I've done that, the image is a little too bright, so I'll bring the whole exposure down just a tad. Perfect. I also didn't explain, I was just also bringing up the exposure on the one side of his face just a little bit. I'm actually going to also bring down the exposure right here. I don't want so much focus on that part of his head. And then I like this image. That white thing kind of bothers me a little bit, but I mean, I like this picture, so I'm not going to throw it out just for that. In Lightroom, I can copy and paste settings. So I'm going to take this image and copy those edits that I made to all these other images. So all of these should be pretty much done as well. I'll look at all of these and see if there's any I want to get rid of, like that one. And I'll get rid of that one. And that one. That one's just funny. I like it. don't know, I really like that one. I'll keep them both for now. Continuing on, I'll copy and paste my settings. These are both pretty similar. I'll keep this one. Needs to be brightened up just a little bit. There we go. These are all very similar, so I definitely need to get rid of some. I like the full body shot. I like that full body shot. I like that one. There we go. Because these were all taken in the same light, in the same position and everything, I really don't have to make too many changes other than just copying over. It looks like about here I switched my lens though. So they are getting a little bit darker. I'm also going to bring down the exposure on this part here. I want the brightest part of the image, the part where your eye goes right away, to be the couple, and not this patch of greenery. I'm in fact going to make it too dark because I want to lift the entire image. There we go. I hope that kind of answered your question there, or your comment, or whatever you want to say. Kind of like it with the tree there. Go. A little bit of flare going on in this one. Not sure yet if I like it. It's just too smoky. I don't like that one. That rock kind of bothers me. I wonder if I can get rid of it. Perfect. JT wants me to talk more. You may come to regret that. So this image looks good. Pretty much the same image, so I gotta pick one. Oh, I like that one better. That one's a little bit closer. I like it. It's all good to go. That's good to go. Lots of smooching. I like that one better. That one's definitely better. As you can see, I didn't do a good job culling this wedding. I was not ruthless, and so I am having to cull as I edit, which sucks. I like that one better. He's got something on his suit. It's a mosquito. Bye-bye, mosquito. And his face is a little bit dark. I'm going to lift that just a little bit. Perfect. And I feel like this patch of grass is like way too bright and is very distracting. There we go. Take all that down. Usually when I'm using the adjustment brush, I do it way more than I actually plan to have it. Does that make sense? So I'll make it super dark just so I can see better what I'm doing. And then I will lift it back up a little bit. You can, when you're doing the brush, if you hit O, it'll show you red marks of where you've used the brush, but I feel like I can't see very well when I do that, so I do it my way. A little bit more red here. I feel like this is not, there we go. And a little bit more kick to the lights. A little bit more kick to the darks and bring the shadows down. Okay. I like it. Okay, let's see what we got on the stool here. That's out. Her arm looks super awkward. There we go. I can't even see her there. I'm just gonna get rid of that one. I like the face there, but I like her hand on this other one. Maybe I will. Darn it. All right. Keep both of those. How about this one? That's okay. All right. Nope. I like that one. Lightroom's taking a while to load, as it usually does. Okay, this one I feel like I want to work on. She's got some bags under her eyes here. So I'll steal some of the skin from her forehead to fix her eyes, but not at full opacity because that would just look crazy. Just a little bit. It's kind of like putting on makeup. So much better. And I'm going to darken the image a little bit around the edges. Wonderful. It's a little too dark. There we go. And here's another little mosquito friend. And a spot right there. Perfect. Do. Cool. Come on, Lightroom. You can do it. Here's my wide shots. Oh, no wonder my wrist hurts so bad. The cat scratched me earlier. Right where my wrist is sitting while I'm using the mouse is right where that cat scratch is. Whine, whine, whine. Complain, complain, complain. All things being equal, I'll take the darker one because I can always lighten it easier than I can darken it. I feel like this needs to be a square or something. I don't know. And I can already see you typing out your comments. No, I don't specially crop every image to make sure they can make 4x10s or 4x6s or whatever. I don't care. I put it how I want it to be because it looks better that way, and they could just deal with it. I've never had a client complain yet. If they do, I'll go back to the original image and give them the original crop if they want to get a picture of that particular one. But to me, it's about what looks better because 90% of my brides are just going to post it online anyway, so it doesn't really matter what format you put it in. Now, I've lost some of the orange of the tree there. Not my favorite image ever, but they really wanted an image under this big tree, so. You know what? I like this picture anyway. Better. See, I did all that work, and it was for nothing. This is why you should cull before you edit, Heather. I'm getting super hungry, so I'm getting really grumpy, just so you know. Just so you know. Meh. I'm not super excited about these images. They're too far away. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm about ready to sign off for today. I need to go make dinner and all that good stuff. So this is me signing off. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with Google Hangouts, so it might just end abruptly, or it might be one of those things where it's like, bye, except we're walking in the same direction, so it's weird now. So officially, goodbye. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.